So this week, I want to take the feedback that I got from last week and make the game a better state, just so I can send it back out again and get feedback in this infinite loop type thing. So first I've changed the Robin Hood model to actually represent Robin Hood, as opposed to the last model which just had the hat. The way I've achieved this is by changing the colour of his shirt, adding a belt connected to a quiver, which is apparently the proper name for a container of arrows, and that just sits on Robin Hood's shoulder, adding another belt around his waist, since every other interpretation that I've seen interprets him with a belt around his waist. And personally, I think it just brings the model more to life instead of just it being completely plain around his stomach area. So yeah, on top of that, I've also added boots onto the character, which I've also commandeered from Quaternius. With all of that now sorted, I can actually focus on changing up how the game works in Unreal Engine. So first I'm going to start by moving the camera to the left of the player to let the player actually see more obstacles before they actually show up, as this was a common issue when getting feedback last week. As well as this, I also fixed the collision for death zones, as that was also something people had an issue trying during the test run. All I've done here is just change the actual collision box to a collision cylinder. So not a big change, but hopefully it should feel a lot different. Finally, I've changed how platform no gap looks, since a stretched out model doesn't exactly look too great, opposed to something that actually fits in with the rest of the platforms. With this though, I've sent this back to people to testing to gauge people's reactions on the changes that's been made so far. After gathering feedback, these new key points stand out to me. A, I'm going in the right direction still, which is nice. The average rating has gone up from a 6.5 out of 10 to a 7.67 out of 10, so that's good. B, moving the player more towards the left of the screen was definitely a right call, as people say the game feels a lot more comfortable to play now. C, the game probably needs something new, as people are just getting bored of now just pressing jump over and over again until they get a game over, which, in all fairness, does get a bit boring. Some other comments that don't fit in with these three include, you could name it Robin on the Run. Otherwise, you could also add a high score count to the top left of the screen while playing. Consider hazards and floor variation. Fix the game end box, it's too high. With all of this though, now I have targets for what I have to work on next week.